So this is used for an ethical person to do a penetration test on a company. What does an unethical hacker do with that tool right there?
An unethical hacker can use this tool to steal people's credentials, to monitor and to spy on people, to look through your webcam, to try to get access to your network, to your phone. They're going to do it for the criminals do bad things. An ethical hacker is going to try to access your computer, to access other computers, to try to take over your company, so that you can show where the weaknesses are, so you can make it better. So it's essentially the same concepts though. But one has a good goal in mind, the other one has, screwing someone over in mind.
Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. And, I hate to say it, but criminals are on the rise. Listen to this stat. In 2023, ransomware attacks were estimated to have occurred, get this, every 39 seconds. Now, if you don't know, ransomware is a type of digital malware that encrypts data on a device or network, forcing the victim to pay to unlock it. Well, the average time to identify a breach is 194 days, and the average life cycle of a breach is 292 days. And there's clearly an incentive for ransomware. Again, listen to this. The likelihood that a cybercrime entity is detected and prosecuted in the United States, it's estimated at around 0.05%. But why? Well, there's actually a more nefarious reason as to why online criminality is increasing. If you're regular to this channel, you'll know that the globalist world order, by its nature, seeks to concentrate and centralize power in the hands of very few, a managerial class, which means that the powers that be have basically been trying to centralize online security in institutions like the NSA and other three-letter bureaucracies. The problem here, as we all know, is that these agencies are terrible at actually solving problems. A great example of this is the contrast between NASA and SpaceX, right? What SpaceX did in its 5 years of existing, NASA couldn't even conceive of doing in 50 years. So what does this mean to you when it comes to your security, your safety, and your identity, knowing that there is no one out there to come and save you when something goes wrong? Well, joining me today is Aaron Czar. Aaron has experience, over a decade of leadership experience in shaping the vision and mission of industry-leading brands like SLNT and Silent Pocket, and he's honed a deep understanding of electromagnetic interference and its applications. And gang, listen, SLNT is one of my favorite brands when it comes to all things cybersecurity and the like. These criminals are everywhere, and you need to protect yourself. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get 15% off on qualified orders over on SLNT's website. But before we talk about all those amazing things, Aaron's here to give us some perspective on what's really going on. So Aaron, welcome. It's great to have you here, my friend.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me. Been a long time coming. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Well, you're on the front lines of this, so maybe you could just kind of big picture give us a sense of what's going on. I mean, is it true that cybersecurity is actually getting worse?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, just look at the devices in our regular life that are connected now, like your microwave, your fridge, your blender, you have a phone, laptop, key fob. It's like there's no shortage of connectivity to this digital world. And if you isolate the United States alone, there's some really staggering numbers around these digital issues. And one of which that people might not be thinking about, but there's 1 million cars stolen a year in the US. And the new way they steal cars is through what's called a relay attack. So they're boosting your key fob signal and stealing your car. They don't have to break a window. They don't have to do anything. That's just real stuff. 70% of online fraud is accomplished through mobile platforms. And in conjunction with that, everyone has a phone. 1 in 36 phones have high-risk apps installed on them. So that means they have access to your camera, your contacts, images, and likely can monitor all your activity. And Silent isn't anti-tech, but we're aware that there's a lot of tech overreach, that there's a lot of evil tech and that's not designed to promote privacy or security for people. So the kind of the state of the world that we're living in, it's highly overconnected, and yeah, things are getting worse, but there are some solutions out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and this is something that we need to listen to. I think it's interesting that that's an anagram for silent, listen and silent, which is pretty cool. So, in today's digital world, which is literally everywhere, as you pointed out, um, we're all hyper connected. What are some of the vulnerabilities? What are some of the dangers and other problems that we regular folk, we digital lay people, don't consider when it comes to privacy?
Yeah, it's like typically people take action when there's a pain point. And we're not always aware or thinking that we even, need or deserve a layer of privacy and security. But just back to car theft, like the key fobs alone, we make a product that stops this from happening. It eliminates the signal between your key fob and your car will not get stolen in that means. I think that's a key one. Your vehicle is going to be a big purchase outside of a home or other ownership, and it's a high value item that you don't want to get stolen. The other one that to think about is like if you have a laptop, if you commute, if you travel, if you go international, anywhere, when you close your laptop, it's not off. It's still connected to Bluetooth. It's still connected to Wi-Fi. It's still trackable. And our sleeves give instant peace of mind. And you're going to put your laptop away anyways. Why not put it in a sleeve that blocks signal and gives you peace of mind? The other kind of, component in today's digital world is that people do have something to hide and people do deserve protection, and your phone cannot be turned off. You can't take kill the power switch, remove the power source from it. You have airplane mode, which is a soft switch and more of a Band-Aid. The only way to escape the grid, as you might call it, is use of a Faraday bag.
Faraday bags is the key there in terms of where you can put in the phone, put in the computer, and so forth, and that basically takes you off the grid, as it were.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of privacy and security first softwares and means that we could get into, but in conjunction with a Faraday bag, the Faraday bag is like the final closure to this loop that you're trying to do. It's like it would be called endpoint security, and it's the final piece to really button you up and safeguard you from bad actors and from nefarious criminals, and just all the stuff that might seem sci-fi, that might seem aloof to your life, is just so real, and most people don't even understand like the reality of what we're facing. And some people don't care, but they absolutely should, because there will be a pain point in your life and you will feel it, and you will reflect on, I should have educated myself a little bit and taken action.
What could I have done?
It's so simple to take action now.
It is. Well, it comes down to a bag, a carrying case. It's insanely simple. I mean, and you mentioned the pain point. That actually, that leads to like me following up with my introduction here. I mentioned the catching and the prosecuting rate for online criminality is as under 1%.
Yeah.
So obviously that seems to mean, in effect, that we're on our own. People, no one's going to get prosecuted for, no one's coming to our rescue here. Am I right in that assessment?
You are right. I mean, just imagine like there's no budget, there's no follow through, there's no ability really for like law enforcement to put resources towards solving these crimes. In 2020 alone, the FBI had more than 2,000 internet crime complaints per day. And and for the average person, how are you going to have the time or the bandwidth to actually do something about it and trace it back? So it's really like it's in your hands, and having foresight in this life that we live, I think, is really important, and doing something about it in a preventative way is ultimately the best approach, rather than being reactive once you feel that pain point. So if you use silent and you use one of our Faraday bags, in conjunction with privacy first technology like VPNs and encrypted communications, tons of different platforms, alternative email platforms like Proton Mail, then you're putting yourself in a camp that is so much better off than just being harvested, I'd say,
Right.
of all your data and an ability to have your entire life, business and family's lives manipulated. You can't have that.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect pivot to my next question, which is, what can we do? I mean, so we're all about taking action here. We're all about, and we're independent. We're not dependent on the government or anything. What can we as patriots do to protect ourselves?
Step one is like decide that you're worth it. And I think people, from what I can see, like the scope of the United States, like people are demanding basic rights, common sense approaches. And so you decide that you're worth it. You know that you are. And then buy a Faraday bag at SLNT.com and you could feel the difference and the freedom that it brings to your life. They're really easy to use. They naturally integrate into your daily life. We have backpacks and sleeves and crossbodies and wallets. They're regular, beautiful products, but they have embedded technology to block wireless signal for the time and place when you want that. The alternative is having no means to ever disconnect from the digital realm. And I think there's a growing majority, perhaps a silent majority of people that believe that there is a better future for us, but it means taking things into your own hands and having some action around them.
Do you mind giving us a little bit of a window into how this silent technology, this SLNT technology works?
Sure. It's pretty simple. You know, like if we're talking about these very complex, in-depth, highly connected issues that plague the entire world. So that's very complicated and high technology. The beauty of silent is quite simple. We use materials to form what we have a patented magnetic closure, and we're able to make sleeves that encapsulate your phone, and essentially they're blocking all signals that would have come in or gone out, and you're isolating it into this small compartment, which would be like a Faraday cage with original term and invention, but you're blocking cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and we even test and protect against EMP. So if you're worried about solar flare or EMP attack, like for other electronics, we cover a wide range of use cases, and we cover a wide range of frequencies that are present in everyone's life and everyone's devices. So it's essentially a bag that blocks signal. It just happens to look really good. It happens to not wave the flag and say, "Hey, I'm worried about this." They're really discreet, subtly branded, and people love them.
It's brilliant. I mean, it's just brilliant stuff. And gang, I mean, serious, being hyper connected has tremendous advantages, but obviously it also has incredible vulnerabilities and dangers. And I got to tell you, Silent is one of my favorite brands when it comes to all things security. Whether you're traveling, going to the freaking store, I mean, criminals are everywhere and you need to protect yourself. So click on that link in the description below or scan the QR code, get 15% off on all qualified orders over on the Silent website. That's SLNT website. Aaron, this is awesome stuff. Thank you so much for everything you do. And thank you for helping us make sense of pretty complex stuff.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. I truly believe that this is a dire situation for the average person, and cyber criminals are becoming bolder. Technology is really a double-edged sword, and it provides incredible benefits, but it comes at a massive risk and cost.
Yeah.
Good thing is there's measures to take now, and we think at Silent that we provide some of the best.
You do. Absolutely. Gang, click on that link below or scan the QR code and check out Silent's website. You will not regret it. Thank you, Aaron.
Sure thing. Thank you.